Clermont, including some very nice communities. We're also going to be looking at 5 stunning new construction homes that are under 500,000. We'll do some Q&As, talk about cruises, theme parks, and also get an inside look at the brand new Epic universe. And then we'll see what else comes up. I've got a lot planned at first, but if you're tuning in, comment below where you're checking in from. I'd love to hear where everyone is tuning in from. Oh, hey. Oh, we got one. Where are you coming from, Rooted Agent? I think you sound familiar. All right. Well, we're going to be talking about quite a whole lot. So hopefully, it'll be helpful info. We're going to be talking about also some market statistics. Some of the questions I've been getting a lot lately are like, how's the market doing here? So it's exciting stuff for my first live. But first of all, it's May 4th, which means May the 4th be with you. So, all right. Well, let's just jump in on this. We've got, hello, Rebecca from Winter Garden. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's talk a little bit about maybe some market stats, maybe to start with. So most of the stuff we cover here on our channel, of course, I cover the whole Central Florida area, and that's a pretty wide net. But where I specialize the most in is where the western side of Orlando, where I live. I live here in Clermont. So Clermont, Mineola, Groveland, Winter Garden, Mascot, Montverde, all of that kind of area is kind of like my niche, my specialty. So a lot of the stats and things that we're going to be focusing on, at least for today, is going to be mostly in that targeted area. And I think in future videos and things like that, we'll probably branch out from there. But let's start on that. Let's see. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is just, especially because I have a lot of people reaching out from out of state. You're tuning into the channel and you're interested in moving here to the area. So it's a great question to ask to see how are things going, because it's very different from other parts of the country. Oh, yay, we got someone from Indiana. Hi, Melanie. So, yeah, so here in our Central Florida area, we've actually have a pretty, it's a pretty strong buyer demand market. We have a lot more buyer advantages right now than we do seller advantages, which as a new construction buyer, I think that gives you a lot of, you're kind of a leg up in the game. Kind of on the seller side, we could talk about that on another front, but as far as buyer market, it's technically a balanced market here if you look at it statistically, but it really feels like a buyer's market because as a buyer, you have a lot more options and selections and sellers essentially competing for your favor. So with that, we were looking at some data on the housing market, and we're using, let me pull this up over here, the Clermont housing report from Rocket. And all of these are kind of all relatively similar, but it's just looking at median sales price. And now this is going to factor in a lot of different data. For some of you, this might just be, I'm going to try to simplify it. And for some of you, you may understand exactly what I'm talking about, but it's in capturing all the types of data, like condos, townhomes, single family, all mixed together. But it's very different between the different types of homes. But overall, in the Clermont area, you have a median sold price. Oh, we got a little technical difficulties here. How do I get that to share on there?
Yeah, original screen share.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, there you go. We're going to be figuring this out as we go because this is my brand new first time doing this. So median sales price here in Clermont. So this is the Clermont, Florida. Now that's 34711 for the zip code. Median sold price at about mid 400s. With new construction, a little bit different because actual Clermont, you're looking at probably in the low to mid 500s at minimum for new construction these days. Now for Winter Garden, for example, to show you the difference, you've got definitely a buyer's market more in Winter Garden, but look at the difference in a median sold price. It's really like a little over $100,000 now, and it's literally neighboring cities, one next door to the other. And then on the Mineola side, which is also pretty much 34715 is the zip code for Mineola. I pretty much consider Clermont, Mineola pretty much the same thing. Median sold price just a smidge over that of Clermont's, maybe about 20-30,000 difference. But yeah, you're still for Mineola, you can still find new construction very, I would say high fours to start, but it's going to be a smaller home. So you can definitely look there. And then also Groveland, even though that's putting you a little bit out, but you're looking at $389 for median sold price. So you can get, if you want to be in the Clermont area, but you don't want to pay those prices, Groveland's where I'm definitely introducing a lot of great families to, and it's just a definitely a good option. Okay, so let's see how to get back to this. So let's talk about new construction. So most of this data doesn't show or reflect new construction sales, and that's because new construction, most of it doesn't show up on the MLS, and I'm sure a lot of this data is driven from what they can find on the MLS. So I looked at some new and this is from the National Association of Home Builders, just looking at overall home sales. Most of the new construction is, not surprisingly, in the south of the U.S. And so sales pretty much remain steady. Here in the area with most of the builders, if sales slow down a little bit, they ramp up the incentives, which picks it right back up. And when sales are really strong, they inch back those incentives. So you have like this ebb and flow of basically incentives. So that's why they change so frequently. So the more they do, the less they're willing to work with you on stuff like that. But I always get a little extra. So, but how's it feel on the ground? So kind of like the boots on the ground question. I'm in this every day, all day. I'm out in the front lines when it comes to working with the builders, working, showing homes and all of that. I'll always say to my buyers that are fretting about today's prices, is that going to change and things like that, today's prices are going to seem like a deal 2 years from now. And the reason I always say that is because it's always true. People that look back and they're like, like I cannot, my husband and I, for example, when Ridgeview first opened, this is a community in Clermont, the houses were like, there's no way I'm going to pay it was like close to $400,000 for like this house over there. And now you can't find anything almost under 600. And this is only just a few years ago. And we're like, we should have gotten an investment home in there. But yeah, so I get calls and texts and emails all the time from many of you who have reached out to help with your relocation. And, that's where, I can definitely confidently say demand is still very strong. We have a lot of people relocating in Central Florida for all kinds of reasons. So I don't really see the slowdown. Now, resales are slow. So when you see headlines talking about things like that, I think a lot of it's misleading sometimes because, of course, they're telling you one little bit and they leave out the rest. But, of course, that's, media needs the clickbait. But I will say resales, on the other hand, are slow because you're competing with so much new construction in our area. I think we're up to like 440 something communities across Central Florida. It's a lot of homes to be competing with. So if you're a home seller, it doesn't mean you can't sell. It just means you have to have the right strategy to be able to sell. But those are the ones that are kind of facing a slower market than those on the buying side. But yeah, an example, Parkside Trails is a new community we just featured. They haven't even done their grand opening yet. And by the time we shot the video a few weeks ago, they'd already done about 50 sales, pre-sales. Like that is insane for a brand new community. And they started, I think, prices like in the like 500s. They're already up. I think like someone commented on the video and said that they were like, hey, the price is already like different. And I looked at it and they'd already increased about 15,000 on base price. That tells me, because every time they do a number of sales, they're increasing. So let's see.
The high demand is reflected in just the price point of that community.
So what he's saying is high demand reflects the price point, and so the more this is real estate is always going to be about supply and demand. It's like that. It's just simple economics in that the higher the demand, the higher the price. Lower the demand, lower the price. And so this community is wedged right in between Clermont Winter Garden. It's like in the sweetest spot. Of course, it's going to go like crazy. So what's coming to Clermont? Maybe let's talk a little bit about that.
Some exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff for sure. Let's talk about Wellness Way. So some of you are probably familiar with me talking about, oh, very good, there you go, look at that. Wellness Way is kind of the area near with the new Olympus project that's coming to Clermont, which is geared towards like Olympic training and sports and all that. There's going to be like, a convention center, hotels, lots of sporting and different things like sporting arenas and things like that. But there'll also be like shopping, restaurants. David Weekley is going to have like townhomes, bungalow type homes within that. So this is a map of something that's coming just a little bit further south of that. So Toll Brothers, which is considered like the largest, not largest, the most luxury production builder in America. So kind of like your high cream of the crop when it comes to builders. They're coming to this area where I have to show you on the map.
Go to your screen share.
Oh, screen share.
So
how do I screen share?
And then click on Toll Brothers here.
Oh, do that here.
Yeah, click on that and then drag it over.
All right, here's.
And then go. I'll put it on.
Add this one. I have to remove. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, now you can control it.
Okay, so Toll Brothers, they locked a spot in. So if you're like looking for the finer things in when it comes to new construction, this is gonna be something that you'll really, really like. But they have secured a whole bunch of land that they're gonna build this like huge community, and just south of which let me see if there's a way I can show you the location overall, because actually there is a link I think I have for you guys. Oh, here it is. Let me see how do I get this?
You can go to Google Maps, maybe.
But I want to show this.
If you scroll down more, there's another graphic.
This is what I was looking for. So this is kind of so you can see where I'm talking about. Right here in this area, right here is where the Olympus project's going to be. And then you have Wellness Way by Lennar, which is they're in phase 2, and they have 6 phases to go, and each phase has an A and a B. So technically, it's almost like 12 phases, if you ask me. They're going to be covering a good chunk of land there. There's a new high school that's going to be built right off of 27, which is going to be huge for this, more South Clermont area. And I do think I heard there's a K-8 school coming somewhere between Lennar and Pulte, but I don't have details on that yet. Just a rumor. But then they'll have like a hospital medical office there. David Weekley. Pulte has already built out this section, and then you have Trinity Family Builders here. Pulte Homes is coming south of there. And then, so Schofield is already here that connects to 429 and into Winter Garden, Horizon West area. But they're building a connection ramp to connect 429 and 27, which that's going to be humongous to like, you won't have to get onto any of the back roads to get to Horizon West or to Orlando for that matter. you can just jump on, which is going to be like a toll road 516, and jump on. So Pulte has up here, this is where that community I was just talking about, Parkside Trails is going to be, or is, I'm sorry. And then here they have another community coming, or two, Lake Haven Estates and Del Webb Lake Haven, which are both opening up sometime next year. I'm guessing somewhere in the early 2026 to mid 2026. And that's a lot of land. Parkside Trails is going to be huge. And look how big this is over here. So that's really a huge deal. And then this area here, Arnold and Roper, so those were like families that sold their land, and that's where pretty much this Toll Brothers community is going to take over most of this Arnold section here. And I mean, that's going to be huge. You kind of see how they have it mapped out. So that's really exciting. That's about 3,000 homes. And I know, like, for the locals, that's not fun to hear. But for those of you that want to live that Florida life and come, it's going to be really close to the parks without feeling like you're close to the parks. It's going to be a really great location for that. About 3,000-ish homes there. Lennar themselves up here are about 2,500 in this section here. So
what's so great about being in that area between 27?
The area, well, what's nice about being in this area is, because obviously they're going to be filling in everything between Clermont and Winter Garden. Winter Garden being on this right side of the map, Clermont being on this left side, you have the best of both worlds. You'll not only being close to highways here in Florida is like essential if you like to get around. So most people want to go to Orlando, which is so nice to be just outside the city, but you get to go whenever you want. Like we go on date nights, and usually we find some kind of restaurant in Orlando somewhere, 30, 45 minutes. It's worth driving for really great food. But you have access to the highway. 429 goes straight up north into 428, connects to, or 428, 408, and all of those roadways. So you have even getting it back onto the turnpike, which gets you all over. So that's really huge. Also, if you go south, it puts you right into the parks. So let me see if I can just show you overall on a map. All of this is right here. I mean, Disney is right here, like right into this area. So you just jump on 429 and boom, you're in the parks. Or you jump out over here and then now you're heading into downtown Orlando. So it's just very, very connected for the area. So yeah. Oh wow, we got someone coming from Trinidad and Tobago. Very exciting. Well, thanks for tuning in. That's really really great. So we're going international here. I cannot wait to get back into the Caribbean because I miss that. I feel like if I'm not there every, at least a few times a year, I can't help myself. But all right, so let's talk about something. Hills of Mineola update. We've got Crooked Can, the big, huge food hall. That has broken ground, which is really exciting because for those that are in Hills of Mineola, you're going to have access to that. Let's see here. Oh, it's already up there. So that's just the rendering. It's going to be like a 2-story food hall. Now, even if you're not big on beers, which I'm not anymore, thankfully, I love food, and having a food hall is going to be really, really exciting. So these are some of the renderings. So that's coming. So probably anticipated to open sometime early next year, but we'll see how well construction does. But they've started, but that's the important part. Also, you got the downtown Clermont update with the Sawmill District. They tore down, I don't know if I have, do we have a rendering of that area?
Sawmill?
Otherwise, I can show.
The link.
All right, let me see here. So, or lumberyard district. I call it the sawmill, but here you go. Oh, how do I get rid of this? Here we go. Remove, add. I'm getting better at this.
I think you're on the wrong.
I'm on the wrong way.
Let me see. You can keep talking about it.
Okay. So so we have the lumberyard district, which I call it the sawmill district because of how they. Is that not right? Okay. So what I'm really excited about, I don't know if you've ever been to downtown Clermont. There's like this really old lumber yard that's pretty much been there for ages, and they've been around, and really it's kind of almost like it just looked really run down, and it was just like the only like a big eyesore. They finally got I think sold it, I don't know if to developers of the city, but this is what they're putting in instead of that, which is so exciting. They're going to be creating some multifamily, so apartments basically. When you say multifamily, a commercial area, so some mixed-use live-work buildings, a two-story parking garage, which we all need. Look how pretty that is. That's going to be really nice. There's like the apartments. Here will be like shops and restaurants on the bottom, and then kind of like condos and stuff on the top. So 3-story mixed-use buildings. Yeah, really, it's going to look so much better. Let me see if I can find you a picture of kind of what it looks like today, because then it would make a lot more sense. Let me see. What is it, from Mineola? There it is. That's what we're working with, folks.
That's what used to be there. Now it's all cleared.
Yeah, so that's what it's looked like for quite some time, and then we're gonna be jumping over to this. I like it. I like it.
I had a question.
Oh, Joe Myro, is this what's going in by the historic village? It's kind of like it's right next to Victory Point, so like on the west side of Victory Point.
Yeah.
So let me see if you can kind of see it. Here's Victory Point right now. Historic Village is over here, down here. So it's across the street kind of from over where that is. I know. I'm excited too. It's gonna look really, really nice. Okay. Let's talk on, we did a poll. So let me remove this. Okay. We did a poll. I was kind of surprised, and maybe I shouldn't be that surprised, but maybe because it wasn't what my answer would have been. But we did a poll for like what would you prefer? What kind of is your preferred way of vacationing? Is it theme parks or is it cruises? So we actually, I don't know if you guys have any guesses on which one of those won.
Put in the comments which one you think people vote for.
Yeah, so put it in the comments. What do you think is people prefer more? The theme parks, so Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, or cruising? Any cruise line? See, yes, cruises. We got to vote for cruises. So I don't know if I don't think
I have the graphic.
Oh, you have it. Okay. So my vote. Okay, we got Melanie says theme parks. Theme parks was the winner. Yes. And by a good, I mean, that's pretty much almost like double the votes, which I was sad because I personally cruise all day, any day. Just the other day, my husband, I think it was like a week or so ago, he was like, hey, some of our friends are going on a cruise. Do you want to go? And I'm like, are you being serious? Are you asking me? Of course, my answer is always yes. I love cruising. We started 2 years ago, but it's just like the best way to vacation, I guess. But I like to relax. And theme parks, there's so much stuff to do that like you kind of feel like you get, especially if you're coming from out of state, you got to get your money's worth because it's expensive. I like to relax, but there's no wrong answer. They're both really great. So, let's talk on theme parks. Epic Universe opening May 22nd, just a few weeks away. We've got some video renderings. Oh, here we go.
Insider video.
Insider.
So
friend of ours got in. They've been doing some like mock openings and just trials like with like staff and different things. So we got an insider look of art. So here's Super Mario World,
which is our kids' favorite.
Yeah, I think my kids would just like pop a blood vessel if they see this and they just are like, like I get to ride a Yoshi. That looks pretty cool. I think I would probably also have a lot of nostalgia on that. Oh, look, Cynthia is saying she's going on Mother's Day. That is super exciting. What a present. I'd say kudos on your family. That's a really nice one. Yeah, look at the inside there. Just like, I mean, it's absolutely amazing what they're doing on that. Do you have any more?
I couldn't download the photos.
Anyways,
uploaded.
Just a little sneak peek. Maybe we'll talk on it more at another time. All right, but
like 100 photos.
we had quite a lot, but I think we had some technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. All right. Well, let's talk. Well, I'm just gonna
hold on. Let me
touch
pull
on
up
this.
the video. You might have to just show it on here.
Oh, but I don't know how I can do that. But while he's looking into that, but on the cruising world, I'm excited about new cruise ships because right now we had Icon of the Seas. I'm a big fan of Royal Caribbean. I still would like to try. Huh? I would love to try Disney because I'm sure that those are incredible experiences. But for right now, I'm a huge Royal Caribbean fan because it's like, I don't know, it's really family friendly and they just have great food and great ships. So Icon of Seas came out like, last year. Utopia of the Seas came out this year. Or no, last year, 2 years. Oh my gosh, I'm going backwards here. So anyways, 2 big ships, Star of the Seas coming out sometime this year. And then they have 3 more ships planned, 1 for each of the next 3 years, which I think that's really exciting because that makes Icon more affordable. I'll jump on that one once the other new ones like steal all the attention. So I get excited for stuff like that. All right. How do I get rid of this? Okay. Now let's talk about how about some newsworthy stuff.
Hold on, before we do that, you want to do the 5 homes under 500?
Hold on, we got.
Actually, let's take a question.
So, and Cynthia's saying Norwegian has a new Prince tribute on Aqua Ship. I like how she put the purple hearts there. Very nice. We're actually trying Norwegian for our anniversary cruise. My travel agent did a phenomenal job finding us a pretty crazy deal. And we're like, it's literally right on our anniversary, which is right next to my birthday. So we're going to try Norwegian. I haven't tried any of their cruises yet. So hopefully I will be enjoying that as much as I do with Royal. But I don't remember what the name of the ship is that I'm doing. If she's watching, maybe she can leave it in the comments. So any questions that we've got from anyone so far?
While they're doing that, here, show this. Maybe just click it and show it on camera.
I don't know how I can do that.
Just click.
Click what?
Oh, go to your Facebook. I don't know.
I don't think I'm going to hold this up. Oh, I know where to find that one. But I have to, hold on. Collins family in Ohio. Let's see. Oh, we watch all your videos as a family, try to figure out where to move, and we love you. Oh, I love you guys. So sweet of you guys to chime in. Yeah, definitely can help you narrow down areas if you think Central Florida is right for you. There's a lot of great options, and just depends on what's important to you, and I can help you find that. What's that? Oh, over there. So not here anymore. Okay.
For some reason.
Okay. So I'm getting directed we're changing camera angles. Well, Dylan, great hearing from you. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely hope to connect with you guys here soon. And all right, what we were trying to show you.
Do the
five sunny homes. Okay, so hold on. Let me go back to before the news. All right.
Yeah.
So one of the things we were going to talk about is we picked out, a lot of times I get people reaching out. They're like, okay, I have a budget of 500,000 or less. And so I kind of just like a lot, especially if you want to be in the Clermont area. I know that's becoming an increasingly challenging thing, but there are 5 floor plans I've picked out that are some of my favorites to show to people, and oftentimes a crowd pleaser, crowd favorites. So we're going to start with number 5, and we're going to work our way up to my absolute favorite.
And we'll definitely shoot videos for this topic.
Yeah, we'll probably have a video that will be released where like we'll have more in-depth tours of these actual floor plans. So let me start with doing, where'd it go? Number 5. Hold on, let me see where. Here we go. Adding to the stage, the Amylite, which is in the town of Mascot. This is Seasons at the Grove. It's kind of like on the outskirts of Clermont, so you're still within like a 15-20 minute drive. So you still feel like you're in the Clermont area, but to find this house in Clermont, you're easily paying an extra $200,000. And the fact that they are selling this home for $450 all in, pretty much, $453 now, is just crazy. It's
15 minutes from downtown Clermont.
Yeah, he's saying 15 minutes from downtown Clermont. This is a home that has an in-law suite, so let me kind of show you real quick. But you have, and when I say in-law suite, it's really hard to like, when people are like, oh, I want in-law suites, a lot of these homes just have a guest room. Like it's not an in-law suite, nothing, because you've just basically a bedroom and a bathroom. That to me is like a guest suite that doesn't really invite someone to like stay long term. And so this actually has its own living room, its own bedroom and private bathroom. And I feel like for like an older parent or maybe even an older child, to give them that feeling. I have a client that had like an older special needs. Like something like this is perfect to have them have their independence, but still like still be with you. It's a great floor plan for that. The kitchen area is great because they have all of this is all extra cabinets. And then on the upstairs floor, wait, why is this not?
Here, close out of that, and you can show them the pictures.
I don't know why it's not letting me go to the upstairs. Oh, dirt. Sorry. Why is this not working? I think it's because I'm.
Go to click out of that. Close it.
I'm just want to like screen.
Close it out.
It won't work. Oh well. Anyways, upstairs you have a bunch of.
There's a 3D tour right here.
Yeah, but that's even. Is that not working?
We have a video on it.
I do have a video. If you're interested in this floor plan, just let me know. I'll send it. Let's go to our number 4, and this one is really the only reason why I'm going to say it's number 4 is because it's a 3-bedroom. If it was a 4-bedroom, definitely higher on the list.
Oh, you got a comment from
Dylan, we've looked at Hills of Mineola and Bridgeview. We'll be in town in a month or so. You have good taste. Definitely give me a call. Love to give you a tour. Okay, so Sable. This is a new community by Lancy Homes called Cypress Bluff, and I absolutely love their models. These are like a brand new set of floor plans. So a lot of the builders over the areas, they have like pretty much the same floor plans that they kind of recycle into the different communities. But this is like fresh and brand new that I am like super, super excited about. But yes, it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. But for the price, and it's just about 2,000 square feet. We just did a tour of this community, which was just the model shows spectacularly. It felt so high end. that was super impressed, and that's why it's making this list. It is right around like the 450, 460 range right now. But of course, you can build custom, like semi-custom or whatever, or you can also do an inventory home. But yes, absolutely beautiful. Let me see. Oh yeah, here's the pictures from the model. Let me show you the kitchen, because the kitchen is just like spectacular. I have some buyers that just went under contract on one of these. I'm so excited for them. Look how beautiful this is. Obviously, like the quill look is coming back with all the white countertops, but ooh, it was so pretty. I really love it. And it's just so open. It was a really great floor plan. So that's number 4. But again, if you had one more bedroom, definitely higher on the list. Number 3, the Miramar by Miranda Homes in Villa Pass. So this one is a 4-bedroom, 2 to 3 bath, 2-car garage, 2,151 square feet of living space. This home is beautiful, especially when you're looking in like the 450 range. This builder is one of my favorites to showcase. Oh, I keep looking at the wrong camera. Is one of my favorites to showcase because they're just like the finishes and everything is just so much. It's just really dressed up. I feel like they do such a great job with that. Let me show you kind of a virtual walkthrough of their model. For whatever reason, this is not agreeing with me. Here you go. Look at it. Lots of counter space, lots of they got crown molding in here, a double tray ceiling in the foyer. Look how pretty. Very pretty. A lot of nice selections to choose from. Some of the sweetest sales reps there too. We'll shout out to them. But yeah, absolutely one of my favorites in this community. I don't know why it won't let me zoom out of here. Okay, next up, we've got number 2, Wakaiwa by Trinity Family Builders. This one you can do under 500, although it's kind of starting to push a little bit, out of there. Let me see do I not see here you go. So the Wakaiwa. Also, you could maybe do a Lopez. That's like probably my favorite of their floor plans is the Lopez, but with the Wakaiwa, definitely one where, oh, here you go, floor plan. You have a lot of options. You can create a guest bedroom, or you can have this oversized garage. So most garages are 20 by 20. This is 28 by 24, this is, I think, the standard way that you have it. So you get a much bigger kitchen, a huge pantry, and then you have this massive 2-car garage. So if you're moving from out of state and you're like, I don't have a basement anymore, what am I going to do with all my stuff? It's a great garage to put it in, because here you can still fit your cars in there and then have a lot of space. And then upstairs you have not only a nice big loft, you have 3 bedrooms here that share a bathroom. And then you have this huge sitting room in the primary bedroom. It is incredible, especially when you see it in the model. I think we have a video on that one too that I can show. But yeah, or you can add an extra bedroom, a 5th bedroom downstairs with a full guest bath. That's how they have it in the model. You'll get a normal sized garage, but you'll be able to have a guest suite. But the kitchen does get a little bit smaller because you lose that L shape here. But definitely a great option. And then my favorite is a brand new floor plan coming back to Trinity Lakes, Lancy Homes, with their maple floor plan. I love this home. It's a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,600 square foot home, priced in like just right around 500s with, when everything included. But yeah, here's the layout. It does have a first floor bedroom, but you do have with this dual walk-in closets. I thought that was really nice how they have that. Nice layout for the bathroom. your laundry. You have nice big storage closet under the stairs because that's where we put all our stuff here without our basements. Huge corner pantry. You have a guest bath, so basically 2 bedrooms up. Excuse me, that was out of nowhere. And then you have 3 big bedrooms upstairs. Oh, something happened. But 3 big bedrooms upstairs with 2 more bathrooms. So you have 4 total bathrooms in the home. Oh, hey, Ashley. Thanks for checking in. So yeah, I definitely love these floor plans much more than some of the older ones they have. No, they do have some really great ones too. Like I always, Vero is one of my favorites, Wilshire from their older collection, but these ones are very much my favorite. So we'll do a video on that, but let me know your comments, which one you like the most, or which one would you see yourself in? Dylan, what did he say? Oh, love the price. I know it's nuts. So finally to have like some great options for under 500, and this is just like a stone's throw from Clermont because you're in Groveland. And there's like all this, like we're going to do a whole nother video next time on what's happening in Groveland because that's like my next, it's the new Clermont pretty much. So just give it like a couple years and it's like, the little sister is catching up. So we'll be talking more on that. Let's see what else.
Is that your number one?
Yeah, that was my number one.
Can you post yours for a second? I don't know why the camera.
Oh, look who's here, everybody! The man behind the camera here. How far is?
Great job.
Who's it? No, you're doing fine. But this is. Oh, look! Oh, hello. We're back.
That's the camera.
That's the camera I'm supposed to follow. So, anyways, we're trying it out. We're figuring it out. We'll get better as we go. We got to roll with the punches. So, but yeah, that's my husband / videographer, who is also our creative director here at the Nguyen Group. And I couldn't do any of this without him because he's amazing. So, but yes, great question, Cynthia. How far is Groveland to Disney? Depending on where you are, I would say somewhere between 45 minutes, give or take. There's definitely, Groveland's very long, kind of like Winter Garden is long. So depending on what part you're in, but probably on average about 40 minutes to be realistic. So always, yes, Dylan, everyone always wants to know how far are we from Disney. So that's a very important, that's an important staple for people coming to the area. It's funny because I'm originally from the DC area. I've been in Central Florida for I moved here originally 20 years ago, but it's definitely been off and on a little bit back and forth with DC. And back up there, everyone's like, how far are we from, everyone works for the government. And here it's like half of the people you meet work for Disney somehow or move here for Disney just to be able to vacation. So, yeah.
Let's take a question.
Let's take some questions.
You have a question from, I don't know if this is going to show. There you go.
Oh, here we go. All right. I'm going to try to zoom in here.
Robinson.
From Tori Robinson. Hey, with many single-family homes being still highly overvalued, would you recommend a new construction townhome or bungalow for a first-time home buyer in Central Florida? What are the best deals you've seen for each one so far? So, great question. Single-family homes, again, like I think after single-family homes, everyone, of course, wants to have because you want to have a nice backyard and all that. But if you don't really need the yard or care for the yard, there's a lot of great opportunities coming up with bungalows and with townhomes. I would say bungalows are probably more preferred than townhomes right now, but townhomes are still relatively new to the Clermont area. There really weren't that many from a while ago, and now all of a sudden they're starting to pop up because people need an affordable option. I have seen in Groveland, kind of in that same area near Cypress Bluff, there's a community over there that's Waterstone has townhomes. I saw as low as 250, but then you don't have any incentives with that. Or you can be, I think, in the 270 something range and then have the interest rate incentives, which is like really low for the area, which I think is a good deal. There's also with bungalows. Yeah.
Pull up the website and then
Let me see if I can show you.
Yeah.
But that's with Waterstone. I would say, but bungalows is a single family home. It's just just a little bit more of a narrower home, and I do think that those are overall provide good values. They're highly popular in Winter Garden, like very, very popular right now. Most of the builders especially as you get closer to the Disney area. So the closer you want to be to Disney, the more likely you're going to be somewhere in a bungalow, because the single family homes in those areas are like 800 plus, but your bungalows are in the 500 to 600 range, which is what most people are looking at. Okay, Dylan has another question. Piggyback on that, for wanting a pool with the cost of everything new construction and take the cost, or buy existing home with a pool. So yes, so you can certainly build a pool. I can tell you right now, because I've been dreaming of having a pool my whole life, and I finally got to the point where I've saved up enough to be able to take that plunge and buy a pool. But to build a pool right now is, after the pandemic, I think the prices of pools went up at least 25 to 50%, because I thought they were going to be a lot less than what they are now. Definitely, if you want something super nice, it's going to be in the six figures. And so, does it add the value to your home? No. Pools will definitely not. If you spend $100,000 on a pool, it will maybe add half of that at best. It depends very much on like the overall pool, and how it's put together. But I mean, some appraisers I've seen on appraisals with homes with pools come back 30,000 up to like maybe the 60,000 range for like a super nice one. So if you really want like best bang for your buck, that's where resale homes come back into play. But the offset is that, yeah, you don't have the warranties, you don't have all of the bonuses that you get with building new construction, which kind of comes back into play. There's another question that I had gotten.
Before you go to that question, can you show on the first question from Tori the different communities you were talking about?
Let me see here. So let me go to the townhomes. All right, so yes, Waterstone has townhomes at the lowest I've seen in any of the kind of Clermont area for $269,900. That's definitely where I would say you can get a really good deal on the townhome, and they're pretty nice. They're smaller though. 14.
Can you run the monthly payment on it? If they're giving a 4.99.
Yeah, they're doing 4.99% on quick move-ins, which usually means, and here's something to note with a lot of these builders, if you have, if you're doing want to do a purchase and you see that advertised, that only applies if the home can close usually between 45 and 60 days out. Anything or under, they usually somewhere between 30 and 60 days. Anything further out or anything you have to build from scratch does not apply with those types of interest rate incentives. So keep that in mind when you're looking at incentives. Usually the incentives with inventory style homes and building from scratch type homes are very different. So if you have questions, let me know and I can help answer that. But payment wise, I think we have that covered in that video. I want to.
It was about like 1,500, right?
Yeah, plus escrows. I mean, I think somewhere in the low 2,000 range, I think would be ballpark for that.
And that's probably the cheapest in all of them.
Yeah, Trinity Family has some really nice townhomes that are probably, if I was going to go with a townhome, I like theirs a lot because quality. It's just, it just shows really nice. And that's in a growing area too, but those are around 350 and there's 2,100 square feet. So they're a lot bigger. But a little bit more on price too. So you kind of have, but some of those have a 4 bedroom option with their floor plan. The Sovereign has 4 bedrooms, and then the Mustang is their end unit. But those are really nice too. But
what
then
about the bungalows?
bungalows, you have a number of options. Definitely Cypress Bluff. There's two. KV Homes has. Let me show you those. Cypress Bluff 1. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about when I say bungalow, because up north that means something completely different. It's not a bungalow like what you're thinking. Here we refer to that as a single family home with a garage in the back of the house. So what you forfeit with those, some of them, is some backyard space. Now in Winter Garden, they do have really nice bungalows where they detach the garage. And so you have like this courtyard or backyard space in between the garage and the house. Those are really nice. But these here, like especially when you're going as more for affordability, usually that there's no yard for those. But those home sites, I mean, that's probably where I would jump on is they have some like 300s, like low to mid 300s, depending on what you spend. I think those are really great value. And like for us, for example, looking at investment properties, because yes, I feel strongly about the market that I will invest in this market because I do think, the incentives are very going to be very strong. We're looking at probably a bungalow as far as investing goes. Let's see. Ashley should have asked earlier, but our homes with land possible in Central Florida. Would love to find something like that down the line, but still close to stores. Yes, but those are resales. So this kind of segues into a really great question that someone had asked offline. But Austin had asked, what are the pros and cons basically of buying new construction versus buying a resale home? And I think that I get that question asked a lot. I think that's a very valid question because there's benefits of both, but it just depends on what you want. So advantages of buying resale is basically that for Ashley. You can have more land. Most new construction, you're looking at, especially if you're coming from like the Midwest or up north, you're definitely not going to have the same type of space that you're used to. I know the house that I grew up in, we had a 1/4 acre lot, which to me didn't seem that big, but out down here, I'm like, that thing was huge. But you definitely have you're down on land when you're buying new construction. It's kind of like a con in some ways. Although when you have a 2-story, you still have a decent yard. You can still build a pool and all that. You just don't have much yard space after. And then another pro with buying resale is the kind of what I touched on about building a pool. If you don't want to, like, I saw this one house, new construction, but it was only, I think, 2 years old or two or 3 years old. I showed it to a client that were looking, and they probably spent at least 200 grand in their backyard. It was absolutely beautiful. The house inside was nice too, but they definitely spent a lot on their backyard. Are they going to get back that money? Probably not. In fact, I think they kept having to lower the price. But the advantage of buying a used home is that even if it's only a year or two old, you definitely still have you can do that when they've already spent the money doing the stuff you want, like putting in the upgrades, maybe accent walls, adding the finishes to make it nicer is a pro about buying on resale. Also, the land, so definitely older homes usually have a lot more land to them. 1/4 acre, 1/3 of an acre, anything with an acre or more. Usually there's not any new construction that's going to be that size. Let me get this off of here. So yeah, so that's pros for buying resale would be for that purpose. Especially if you want, okay, here's another thing that I've noticed with buyers. If you love trees, then you're going to want a community that's established at least 20 years, because that then you have those big beautiful oak trees, streets that are lined with trees. There's just one neighborhood here in Clermont. I love selling in there. They have a section that's older, and they've got these gorgeous tree-lined streets. I think my aunt's like in love with this neighborhood. I'm waiting for her to retire so she can move in. But tree-lined streets, very beautiful homes and everything like that. And then immediately when you get to the new section, it's like stops with the trees, and it's just all open because they're just like baby trees everywhere. So if that's something where like when we moved into new construction for the first time from our older home, our first purchase when we got married, the thing I missed the most, seeing squirrels. There's no squirrels in our neighborhood because we don't have the trees to house them. So in that sense, I think that's another pro for the resale side, is if you want to have more of that like mature landscaping look to your community, that's a plus. Um, Also, if you want land, if you want water access, most of these communities don't, except for a couple, like a few. But if you really want like lakefront properties, luxury, that kind of stuff, unless you're going to like Bella Clina, which maybe down the road will cover, but you're not going to get huge lots or waterfront if you're looking on the new side. You're going to look more on the resale side.
What about incentives for buying new construction?
Yeah, so on the con side for buying resale is that you don't have these sellers just don't have the deep pockets to just incentivize like new construction does. So that segues us to the pros of new construction, why most buyers relocating to the area are focusing a lot on new construction, because one, you get great warranties with your home. Most of the builders, if not all, are giving you at least a 1-year craftsmanship warranty, 2 years for your systems, and then 10 years for your structure. And they're giving great incentives to cover all your closing costs. If you're doing quick move-ins, they can offer on top of that some great interest rates. I've seen as low as like 3.5, although nowadays it's hovering more up to like 4.5 or 4.99. So that's definitely something that's a huge bonus with buying new construction. The other thing, which I thought was a really great point from a client that mentioned it, community. So most people are relocating their families from out of state, are looking to build community with people and find, get their kids plugged into school, make friends. They themselves find friends to like do life with. And when you move into new construction, I do feel it very, not to say that the other neighborhoods wouldn't have it, but I do think it's like, it's just a little bit more amplified because everyone else is also relocating from somewhere else and they are in the same position. So I think it's a great way to build community faster with your neighbors because everyone's from somewhere else. So I think that's another pro with new construction. The cons we talked about, yard sizes are a big con. A lot of people, especially from the north, are like, most homes, if it's like a 50-foot wide home site, there's 10 feet in between the houses. For some, that can feel a little claustrophobic. So that can be a con, but that's also, if you're friendly with your neighbors, that's a great way to make new friends. All right, Dylan has another great question. I mean, high five Dylan for all these awesome questions. So do you think that prices will start to go down with the economy the way it is? I think we're stuck with interest rates, but can't decide if prices are going to fall or not. Now, I personally believe this is a very hyper local type question because different states, different cities, even within those states, different towns, all of that has their own types of economies. So here in Central Florida, compared to other parts of the country, other parts of other cities, major cities, have all had very different reactions to the interest rates. Interest rates pretty much have tripled since 5 years ago. 2022 is when they started to go up. And so we're 3 years in, and they've pretty much tripled since then. And our demand here in Central Florida has not really been curbed the way it has in other parts of the country that were significantly affected by that, because from my standpoint, the whole increasing the interest rates was to subside that demand that came from the pandemic. And it did for many parts of the country. I haven't seen that happen here. And that's only made evident by just the price change. Like you can see from year to year the differences in pricing with these builders. I'm listing a home in a new construction community that the sellers, plans change, they have to go. And we looked at the difference in pricing from when they bought, and it's only been a year and it's gone up just from the base price, like close to $40,000. And that's just within 1 year. The same thing happened to us when we built our first home. And then like 6 months later, we changed our mind. We're like, we're out of space. We got to go a little bit higher. So I know exactly what that feels like. But we were able to increase. We still had increased about 40. It was like 45,000 within a year, which is crazy. And that was like almost 5 years ago. And so that's definitely changed a lot. It continues to move forward in our area because we have demand with different industries. We have huge like medical space, like a lot with tech jobs. And then of course Disney. I mean, Disney, and now with Epic Universe coming, there's all of these people that's drawing people in by the droves, and there's no real signs of stopping. So while it's been affected in other parts of the area, I have not seen that here. The only thing I've seen affected by interest rates are home sellers. I feel like home sellers have gotten the short end of the stick because they're not able to do the types of incentives to motivate buyers to continue to move. And so, but yeah, hopefully that answers. But yeah, I don't think prices are going to fall. I do think, and of course, like I'm not a psychic. I don't know what the future holds, and I can only just give you an educated guess based on data, because that is what I'm good at, is statistical analysis. That's what I used to do prior to real estate. 14 years ago, I was a crime analyst for police, and my degree is forensic psychology. So like for me, behavioral trends and behavioral analysis, statistics, math, that's like my strengths. And so what I'm seeing behaviorally is that unless something significant happens that significantly impacts demand in our area, I don't see prices changing much. What I do see, there's going to be always ebbs and flows of home prices. That's just a natural thing. So some seasons within the year might go down a little bit. They'll pick right back up when things pick up. It's just kind of like that. But overall, it's an upward trend line from what I've seen over even the last 3 years, where we've been at our highest peaks of interest rates. So, but yeah, why you aren't psychic, thought you knew it all. I will be the first to say I don't know everything, but I am the type of person that if I don't know, you betcha I'm going to go find out one way or another, because I love to learn and I love to know. And so like I'm very education driven. Like to me, knowledge is power. And so, and I think many of you that have followed me along for however long have kind of picked up on that, like information. I don't know, it's like my safe space. So I love, like, especially if I have to make a big decision, the more information that I have, the better I feel like in making a decision, like that confidence. And so with the clients I get to work with, that's ultimately what I love to help them have, is just information to make the right choice, both this way and also just tangibly in person, to be able to give a full tour and really help explore the area, not just the homes itself, but like the lifestyle of the areas and the community, to see if that's where they can picture themselves. So Great questions. But yes, I'm no psychic. I can't predict the future. But what I could say pretty confidently is if rates go down, that will increase demand, and increased demand equals increased prices. So that I would say very strongly, I think that would be the direction we're going. But with all of these new communities still slated to come over the next several years, because there's even a few that are coming north of Hills of Mineola that I think are later next year and into 2027. I mean, there's no shortage of opportunities, but as those opportunities continue, the pricing just continues to inch along on the higher side. So, but Dylan, I love that my videos have been helpful for you guys, and definitely, yeah, I always feel bad for the projects you come up with for your husband. Oh, but he is, it's the greatest joy that we get to work together. He's formerly not preschool, elementary teacher, but he had just, he always had videography as a hobby, and now that we get to work together and really create things together, it's just it's a joy. Even though sometimes he gets on me because I'm always on my phone during the video shoots trying to take care of my clients, and then he's like, back to the video. So, but I do enjoy what we do together. So
why don't we got The Last of Us coming.
Oh, that's true. It's already 9:30. Whew. Well, thank you for everyone who has been watching with us and hanging out. But yes, I do have very important matters to attend to. I guess on the last bit, I don't know if you guys watched The Last of Us. I am very much involved in watching this series. It's on HBO Max. If you follow the show, I don't know if you want to tell me how you felt about episode 2. We're still kind of reeling from that, but excellent show. Yes, it is. We're now 30 minutes into the show, so I got to go catch up on that. But it's been a joy talking with you guys, and hopefully giving you a little bit more insight into our area. Hopefully we can do this again soon. Thanks for making this not as bad. I think I've been trying to drive up the courage to do one of these for probably, I don't know, what would you say,
a year?
A year. I'm actually kind of introverted and shy, so I finally got to do it. Oh, Andrea, yes, I was. It was very hard. I don't play. I play the games, although now I'm intrigued about playing the games. But a lot of them knew what was coming, but I did not know, and it was whew. It was very emotional, and I'm almost like an empath. I feel because I'm right there in all the emotions and the feels. But yeah, so I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, I really am grateful that you guys made this not so nerve-wracking for me, because I finally got the courage to do this, and it just felt like I'm sitting here with friends. So really grateful. So on that note, I hope you all have a great night, and I hope to hear from some of you, and definitely reach out if you have questions that I can answer. If you're planning a trip, I would love to be your tour guide and make it a fun experience. So as I always say, it can be really daunting to try to do all of that on your own. So my goal is to make it super easy, because I know a lot of these communities like the back of my hand, and I would love to be able to find you the perfect match. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. If you text me, it goes straight to me, and I love hearing from all of you. So hope you guys have a great night.